Good morning, welcome to this GAN program. This is our first day and we are going to talk about supply chain management. And I would like to welcome you, each one of you. We are mostly MBA students and some faculties are here. Thanks for coming, and it's definitely going to be a great session with your participation. Now we will be talking about supply chain and what is supply chain management, what are the networkings available in supply chain, and big data analysis for today. Today's course will be within 2 sessions under the day 1. I will be covering supply chain management, supply chain collaborations and networking, role of big data analysis in supply chains. Then we will be talking about a case. The case will be from today's case will be from Fisher. It is talking about several supply chains. One example is given as agri sector, but there are many different topics covered in Fisher's case study, which will be done in the evening today. Supply chain, when you are talking about supply chain, it is a kind of chain which is connecting people. So, that is a name it has come from the chain. Chain is linking to the next, it is not ending. So, when you are having the network of all organizations, resources, activities and technology, in order to create, that means produce any item, any product, and if you want to sell it, then you can take the supply chain's help from the delivery of resource materials to the end person. End person can be a person, it can be retail store, it can be anyone who is buying the product. So, this is a definition, it is a comprehensive definition. There is no one single definition which is covering supply chain management. If you look at certain books, very famous books like Nigel Slack's book, you might be seeing the same thing in a different way. So, supply chain is the one which is connecting resources, organizations, activities and technology involved in production of items and selling from the point of raw material until the finished goods going to the consumer's hands. This is called supply chain. When you are managing it with different tasks, then we call it a supply chain management. We can manage with the help of technology, we can manage with certain contracts, we can manage the supply chain through collaboration, we can manage it with networking, and so many other things are involved. So, supply chain is mainly required for the functional products, innovative products. Functional products are commodities which are used in our daily life, and innovative products are the one which are laptop, or we can talk about mobile phones, computer, laptop, already I said laptop. There are many other things which are not normally bought every single day. Other than functional product, all are classified as innovative products, because we are not buying it every day. We need certain level of innovation to make the product. So, we are calling it as innovative product. This particular diagram, if you look at it, European food supply chain is really helping to reduce the greenhouse gas emission. When you are having the supply chain partners, everyone are responsible for making the reduction of CO2. So, that is what it is given here. We will be seeing each one of these. Raw material supplier. Let us start with this raw material supplier. Raw material supplier can be from anywhere around the globe. For example, if you are making some steel production in Orissa, as our professor said today, professor said about why we are not making, but think about you are making some new product in Orissa, say stainless steel vessels for cookware. Steel is coming from your own country and you can mold it using some coal. Coal can be available locally or you can buy from nearest places, and then that is called raw material. Steel is raw material, coal is raw material, and raw material is not only the tangible one. Certain intangible raw materials, that are skill sets, what is required to create the product. So, raw material, what you are touching and seeing, they are all tangible raw materials. Indirectly, you are using your skills and you are using the labor, and machinery is again tangible, but level of competency of the machinery, that is also kind of ingredient which is helping to create the product. So, next it goes to the manufacturer. Once the product is produced, it goes to the manufacturer, but I said product is produced, but not fully. So, raw material is converted into the plate, that is also material, that is a raw material for the next person. So, you are converting the normal steel into steel plate, that is happening in the raw material. Then that material, it is again a product, that is a product, sheet is a product which goes to the manufacturer in a different way. So, it is what we say as a complete finished product is not necessarily finished product for everyone. So, for the raw material supplier, he has done the job, that product is finished. So, that product is ready to be sold, for him it is a finished product. But manufacturer, he will say it is only the sheet of steel, it is not a finished product, I have to mold it to different shape. So, manufacturer is making some processes within the manufacturing plant, he is putting some effort, he is doing investment for the machinery, he is appointing some skilled people, and then they are working towards finished product of vessels. Stainless steel vessel is a finished product for the manufacturer. Then he is sending it through a distributor, when it can be in house, maybe they can use the 3PLs, third party logistic, they can send it from the manufacturing plant to different parts of the country. India is such a big country, so Orissa is in one side of it, we can send it around the country itself, not necessarily around the globe. So, they are sending by truck, it can be road or rail, any kind of transport, road transport, rail transport, water carrier, and you can use the airlines as well. So, you can choose which is important for you. Mainly we are talking about 4 different transports, rail, it is motor carrier, rail, and then rail is not connected throughout. Motor carrier is connecting every part of the country, but rail is not available throughout the country, certain parts are disconnected. And third one is water carrier. Water carrier is ship, again ship is not available for all the cities, and then airlines. Airways are connecting certain countries, but why should I send my low value product through my airlines services? They will have the third party logistic for airlines as well. So, based on the requirement, based on the value of the product, the manufacturer will decide how to distribute it. So, once a distributor is taking the in charge, the control is with distributor now, no more it is dependent on the manufacturer, he has given the job to someone else, he is taking the item and he is going to the wholesaler. So, wholesaler will be selling lot of things together, whole as a whole, yeah, plenty of items as a mass selling. Then retailers will buy from the wholesaler. So, retailers or the retail stores, what you are seeing in the city centers, and then end user, you are the end user, end users can be consumers. So, retailers will be selling to your parents probably, and you are all staying in the campus, you may not be exactly the end user. In this case, here our parents are buying, you are consuming it. So, end user and consumers not necessarily be the same, end user can just buy it, but consumers are really consuming the product. But here according to this diagram, end users are the buyers. Okay. Now, when you are having all these network partners, we are all talking about the supply chain members, we call it as node. Each supply chain node, raw material supplier is one node, manufacturer one node, and distributor another node. Node is not one, it can be many, I cannot draw all of them. So, it is written like this. We call tier, tier is a common word for suppliers, tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, whoever is closer to the producer, he will be called as tier 1. So, manufacturing is the main core idea of this particular supply chain diagram. For the manufacturer, tier 1 is maybe metal supplier, tier 1 supplier. For metal supplier, raw metal, whoever is supplying to the metal supplier tier 1, he is called tier 2 supplier. So, if you are going away from this manufacturer, so you will be having supplier tier 1, supplier tier 2, sorry, Okay. So, next let me show you how it is happening in the milk supply chain. These are just example to kick start the session. Here supply chain, when you are having this supply chain, look at the top left corner here. It is very simple supply chain. See, when you are having the food supply chain, normal rule of thumb is it should be short supply chain, but we are talking about global supply chains nowadays. Even we are getting milk bottle from UK and other countries, but rule of thumb for the supply chain is if it is possible to get locally, go for local production and local consumption. So, it is called short food supply chain. It should be short, within 10 miles radius. Here when you are talking about the dairy product, say dairy product here, I think Ovin is, no, Amul is very famous, right, in this part of the country. I do not know about other names. If for example, Amul is a dairy product which is produced here, it is sending throughout the country. Why? Why it is not short food supply chain? Amul is a product which is around everywhere in the India, around India everywhere you can find it. Why? Why not short food supply chain? Amul is a dairy product which is around this country everywhere. It is not just following short food supply chain. Why?
This is not likely that no other like Nandini from Karnataka, Kerala has some also, in Odisha also Ompet, but they are not so big as compared to Amul. And Amul has not restricted to dairy product only. He has diversified into chocolate and other products. So it has diversified many fields that it has now become a household name. So it is we cannot say it like a small scale industry or a small product. It has now become a national product.
Yes.
So its reach has been gone to everywhere in the country.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Any other? So, it is a diversified and big company. They have many capabilities and resources to give it to others. Short food supply chain is restricted only when you are not having enough supply to distribute to the local. Other than local, nobody can gain it. So, already we are in short of supply, then you will go for short food supply chain. As I make it as a cooperative society, local cooperative society model, there are many models we have, and this is cooperative society model. Local farmers will be bringing the milk to one particular central location. They will be using the same quality control from Amul. Am I right, sir? Yes. So, these are the different models available. When you are looking at this figure, dairy product is going from the farm and it is taken to the container, refrigerated special vehicle. We call it a special vehicle. Temperature should not be dropping, it should be maintained at the same level. Then it goes to the pasteurization. Pasteurization is keeping the milk in a high quality by removing the impurities, and then it is again refrigerated van is taking it to the other places. Next manufacturer, he is going to the next manufacturer, packaging is happening. That means, see how many times it is transported. Every arrow mark, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, that means cost is added. It is not happening in single place. Sometimes it may go here 5A, this is 5B, all every single arrow is different. It can go this way. If I am going for 6, 7, 8, 9, 9 to 10 different travel. That means, the cost of milk may be for 1 liter equivalent 20p, maybe 20 rupees. That if it is equivalent to that, then finally you will be paying how much is 1 liter of milk? 60 rupees. So, instead of 20 rupees, you are ending up paying 60 rupees because 30% of our cost, supply chain cost, is embedded within the logistics. So, this is not only for India, for around the globe. Normally 30%, this is proven, and it is in many articles. I myself have written as article, 30% of logistical cost is considered as your price. Price what you are paying is 30% of the logistical cost. If you are getting something in the market, if it is locally produced, that cost will be reduced. In this case, it is not necessarily local flight. If you look at 5B, it's airlines is taking, otherwise it is only local, but still local is not happening within one particular travel. There are many transportation involved. When you are having more modes of transport, then you will be paying more money. So, in that case, so the transportation cost is one of the major costs embedded within the supply chain. Okay. As a future logistical manager or supply chain manager, what you need to do is try to reduce the cost of logistics. If you can't do it in single place, if you are leaving it to others to process it, what Professor said, we can take, Amul is doing it, others will be taking care of it. For example, the best thing in pizza, all are talking about pizza. Pizza is having the profit margin of very high in the food sector. Pizza is giving only the formula, and they are giving the dry wheat flour and others in a packaging. It goes to the pizza mixing area, everything is already processed. So, you do not need to know the know-how of how to do it. So, another thing is in the supply chain, next term what we are saying is know-how. Know-how is how to understand. Know-how is a term, I am not using it, it is there for many years. So, if you want to know how it has been done, the technology behind doing things, that is called know-how. Know-how is actually it was introduced in Japan long before. Japan is pioneering in technology, all of us know it. Japan was giving the product to other countries including USA. So, and Japan people are always very much attached, loyal to the company. They will not be changing the job. In that case, USA has created some new idea of taking the knowledge. So, that means only know-how is required from the expert. Instead of hiring many people from the same company from Toyota in Japan, they have hired only few know-how people, that means technologists. They will be giving the transferring the knowledge to the next set of people, that they will be taking the knowledge and they will be building on it. That is what we are doing in India. We are having IT hub here and many IT professionals are here, you are having the job opportunity. But here when you are talking about supply chain, IT professionals should be there in the whole supply chain. Now, my question, how to reduce the number of arrows here? Using technology. I said how technology is used, how to remove these extra arrows, that means extra travel using technology.
Cell technology, we are not using the cell technology basically. Where in the cell technology, what is happening? The manufacturing unit, the supplier, the distributor, all are in one geographical area, and they are direct dealing to the end users. They are not taking the wholesaler, distributor, so many things are not there. So, the product direct interlink with the technology, that the GPS systems, real time data collection, which will giving the input data to the supplier, the demand and supply imbalancing is going on the, for the include the technology like the real data capture.
Thanks, sir.
One thing that one technology nowadays very fruitful, pre-order basis. Nowadays most mobile manufacturer use this technology. They announce pre-order booking. So based on that, they would have a basic data, what is the demand of the customer, what kind of volume they are requiring. So on the basis of this data, one manufacturer can presume what is my requirement. Accordingly, he will put their transportation or dispatch schedule accordingly. So these things can be adaptive free in this scenario also. They could have a demand requirement, and accordingly they have to put their transport and logistics arrangement.
Yes, thank you, sir. So route maximization and route facilitations are embedded with what he said. Thanks for that. So here when you are a management science student, not normal management student, will be doing the modeling. Yes, you want to do? Yes.
Want to add one thing, like Amazon and Flipkart in India itself using the data for reducing the delivery time. Earlier in Amazon deliver the product in 7 to 8 days all over the India, but nowadays in a one day in a tier 1 or tier 2 cities or tier 3 city, around 3 days are delivered. They are using the data for how many orders are coming from this city. they are set up the one warehouse there. They are using the transportation like direct to the warehouse and then to the household. They are using the data like the order frequency. Like if the Raulkela having a more order frequency, then he set up a one warehouse near the Raulkela for reducing the delivery time.
Perfect. Yes, thank you. So delivery time is reduced if you know the data. So demand data, if it's known to you, what will be the future demand, accordingly you will be making the supply. What he said is exactly now happening in different parts of the countries. You will be setting up the different delivery units, not the manufacturing unit. Here what another possibility here, these two and 3, you can make use of as one element. So, one is refrigerating, collecting the milk, and then they are transporting, that is number 2 after 1. A refrigerator tanker transports the milk by road from processing factory, that means in between there is one processing factory. Can we combine these two? Is it possible to go with collaboration? Can we have the collaboration with 2 different partners, make it as one? So, you can reduce it from one point of view. Other one, what he said is the last mile delivery. So, both the academics, they said we can go for the data, that means everybody is talking about data. How wisely can you talk about the data and how can you use the data? So, data is everywhere. Now, we are having the mobile data, social media data, and whether we can convert every data, every hands up emojis and every sad face, can I convert those into the big data and make the analysis? Do I need to do it for small supply chain like milk supply chain? It is essential. You will be buying one TV for 2 years, only one TV for the family, but milk every day you are buying. If you add the amount of money what you are spending for the milk, water, juice and other commodities, common commodities, your add up value is much higher than your price what you are paying for the TV. So, obviously, you have to decide which supply chain is going to be making a higher impact and then how you are going to decide it. If you are a supplier, you may have to think of last mile delivery as well, supplier of milk. After manufacturing it comes to you. So, supplier name I am using different in different context. If you have noticed, supplier can be manufacturer, supplier can be raw material supplier, and even the wholesaler can be supplier to the retailer. So, supplier is a term which is used one level before selling. Selling to the market or selling to the other retailer, it is different matter. So, one level above. Now, the concept is when you are looking at this, other examples are given. My question now, I said supplier is a name which is common for the supply chain and different nodes. I am talking about this one, we call it as upstream. What is the name for here? Okay, what is this? So, it is a retail outlet. Okay. First I started with raw material. If I say raw material is upstream supplier, what is the name for the last retailer? It is not ending, but can make it as its retailer. This is a retailer, name I am giving it as retailer. You are going to buy from there. So, can you make opposite of up? Down, downstream, downstream. So, downstream is a supply chain end, upstream is a one which is really making the effort to put the things together to prepare the material. Okay, now who is important, upstream or downstream? Both are important. Who will be creating, stirring the demand? Downstream. Downstream is steering, that means they are the driving force for creating the demand. Upstream is giving it back. Now, let us come, somebody was talking about lean and other things, let us come to that point. It is only an introduction of the supply chain. If someone is asking for a new item, for example, in the mobile phone, I want my local language. Now, we have everything. Before 20 years, we did not have the local language because that was no smartphone. That was not only, that was only ordinary phone, not smartphone. When you are having the new expectation from the market, it has to go to the upstream. What is the primary thing to connect upstream and downstream? This is upstream, this is downstream. I am here as an end user. I want to get something from upstream. So, upstream is giving item to downstream. So, if I am doing it this way, arrow, all items are coming here, something is going up. So, I want to get something from here. So, information will go, one is feedback, yes. What else? It's not in any book. Customer satisfaction, yes. So, let us come to the point. Now, what he said is correct, you will get the information, you will be asking about the feedback, customer satisfaction, but something is missing, that I want to give some new item to the customer. Customer market research will tell you what is required. Normal items you will get the feedback. If you are keeping some item in the shelf, if it is not sold, that information is called demand information, actual demand. So, that means something is not sold, it is still lying in the shelf, that demand information will go to the upstream, he will identify something is wrong with the product. In case if it is not going for, if it is not for milk, if it is for a higher value product, if it is not sold for many days, he will come back to the market and make the market research. If you are a marketing student, you might be knowing market research is important to get the information. So, whenever people are asking for new product, market research will tell exactly what is required from the consumers. Now, I have the feeling when I am traveling, I feel like okay, this is missing in this country, that is missing in that other country. So, how can we do it? But it is not available from one country supplier to the other country supplier until smartphone or smart information exchange happened. Nowadays, everything is openly available. If you want to see how supply chain is working for Walmart, we can click in the Google, you can see how many items or how many new items are being kept in the Walmart shop. It is so much open. So, it is called transparent information exchange, transparent information exchange. We call it a smart technology, but smart technology is only the technology. Information cannot be communicated. Smart information or open information should be like a contract. If you go to any shop, what is a very big shop here in this place? Any like a big bazaar, what do you call it? Reliance Smart. If you go to Reliance Smart, if you are a manager, can you see the stock level of another company who are collaborating with you? If you can see that, then it is called transparent information exchange. You have to see not only the item in the shelf, how many items are stored in the warehouse, how many items are on the move means in the transport, how many items are being produced, how many raw materials are kept for the product, how many can be produced in the future date. If you can see everything, then this is called the transparent information exchange. But we are all very much afraid about our business. How can we make it transparent? We cannot make everything open to all, then it will affect my particular sale. So, I think I have given some more examples, but examples you can see by yourself. What is a supply chain management? Now, you have little bit of idea what is supply chain. Now, management. Management is not happening overnight, and supply chain management especially, even if it is a small business or big business, most of you are doing SME related MBA, right? Are you going to any SMEs locally? If you are not gone, just go to any SME company, small medium level of enterprises, and see how they are doing the transaction level of business. Transaction level of business meaning is you will be placing the order, I will be giving the order, that is called transaction level of business. Next is a collaborative level of business, not complete collaboration, I am saying collaborative networking level of business. That means you will be exchanging this information about only your orders, not complete openness. Then you will be having the complete full collaboration level, you will be having everything in the system, others can look at it. So, modern supply chain information flow happens in both upstream and downstream. So, that is a full complete collaboration, we call it as complete collaboration for transformation of information. So, transparent information exchange is really helping the modern supply chain. So, this is modern supply chain. You do not need to give the information about what is your profit, you do not need to show all these things, but you can show how many items are being sold, how many items are in the warehouse, how many are really going to be, you can calculate how many are going to be sold tomorrow based on the forecasting. So, this is called modern supply chain. Material flow is forward, reverse. I have not talked about the reverse flow. We are talking about the information from downstream to upstream. One first information, order information. It goes as information, not anything, no tangible element, it is only intangible. But we are also sending the customer satisfaction, feedback, and what is required. Sometimes they will give the feedback orally. So, bad word of mouth, not good word of mouth, you can convey those messages. Why we have to do it? Because we have to change the production process accordingly. So, material flow is forward, it is a regular supply chain. A reverse supply chain, product return. Now, we come to the other than information. The product is returned. Why you return? I do not like it. That is the only word they will be ticking. Previously, before 5 years, product return was very difficult. Nowadays, you can buy from Amazon, you can send it next day, and you are having more power. Consumer power is creating problem in the supply chain. Product return. Product return, when you talk about the product return, you may feel that it is very simple. I bought it, I do not like, so I am giving it. But who are all going to be involved in the reverse logistics? Let us see. First, the product is returned to Amazon. Amazon person is coming and picking up, or you are dropping somewhere. So, one logistics. Already one is done for forward, now one more for reverse, and that person is taking to the warehouse, central warehouse. That second person is taking that item to the manufacturer. Manufacturer feels it is faulty, I cannot fix it, it has to go to the assembler. So, that manufacturer himself, he can't fix it. He will be sending to the raw material person, because it is faulty component, you change it, then we will be fixing it. Means more than 3, at least 3 logistical service providers are used. But when it comes back to the same market, it is sold for the second market, secondary market. The value is reduced, cost is increased. So, can we do some solution at this point? So, you are all going to be doing some MBA finally. After MBA, you are going to study, or you are going to work as a logistical manager or supply chain manager. Do you have any quick solution for this? How to avoid the product return? We cannot avoid it. Even if you are getting the product return, how to avoid the loss in the product? It is in our hand. Actually, it is given as a big project for our students. Every student will be giving some new ideas. So, I would not say everything is my idea, it comes from collectively from different students. I expect something from you.
Open box delivery.
Open box delivery.
Yeah, when we have to open the box in front of the delivery one, and if the product is okay, we can take the product, or then we can return. And if once we will accept it, and there is no option of return, that is not.
That is a good option. Okay, one choice is open the box
Open
and see
box,
if you like it. The one step towards reducing the waste. There are other options of not having the open box, something else. If it is not Amazon, open box is not possible. For example, if you are buying from the physical store, and once you get it to your home, probably you may not be in a position to accept it due to many reasons. And what is the option to reduce the cost? By sell it. You have to sell it, you have to give it to the retailer, they have to sell it. What is the option?
By reducing the prices, like we visit to any Reliance. There is vegetable. There are 2 types of vegetables. One is fresh one. They might be selling it in rupees 50. Second, they have priced it 30. Customer know this is not fresh, but I am willing to pay less for this product. So, that is a point to get the materials sold.
Okay, that is good. So, secondary market created within the primary market, that is the option to reduce the logistical cost. In Amazon, you are doing Amazon work. In other countries, Amazon is slightly different. If you are opening the product and if you have used it, you are liable to pay little certain percentage of it, and still you can sell it. Amazon can give it to the other people once the quality is checked. So, there are certain ways, but if it is a physical product, the option is you can create a secondary market, as we said. It is rightly create the secondary market within the primary market, and you are segmenting the consumers. So, consumer segmentation is happening in the retail store itself, and we are all actually Professor Umesh, Uma Mageshwar, he has talked about why you are all wasting, and you have not given the answer. Let me come to that point. When you are having the pizza of various ranges are dividing the market into different segmentation. That means your supply chain is also different. Your supply chain is competing with other supply chain. If you are looking at the market, same product is given in different prices. Why? Because supply chain is competing with each other. Supplier is the same, material is the same, but when it comes to the consumer's hands, it is different because of the price. That means income level is deciding your purchase power, and your purchase power is deciding what is going to be in demand. As a logistical manager, our job is also to see the material flow, information flow, as well as the purchasing power. We cannot leave it to the marketing. We have to see how many people are going to buy this product in this area, especially when you are talking about high value product. So, material flow is forward. A reverse flow, we can also go with reverse supply chain in such a way how many people are returning the product from one particular location. It shows the behavior of the consumers. For example, if you are in a metropolitan city, your return will be less, because they know what they are buying, they will see the reviews before they buy. And if it is from other part of the remote part of the country, they may not know how to use certain electronic product, they will return more and more product. So, return is not only just return, not for the marketing purposes, for logistical purposes as well. We have to calculate how many returns are possible in that area. Accordingly, you will be deciding the forward supply chain. So, supply chain uses logistics to connect and integrate services. Do you agree? Definitely, supply chain is, even if you are placing order through Amazon, somebody is bringing to your home. So, he is using logistics, and transportation warehousing is very much needed. We cannot have centralized solution for warehousing. Now, we have localized solution. That means your cost is increasing. If you are having centralized location, Orissa only one place, throughout Orissa only one warehouse, means you cannot cover every area. If you are covering logistical cost will be higher. If you are having 2-3 extra warehouses, warehouse cost will be higher. So, you have to see what is best for you. You have to look for the profit and loss calculation, activity based calculation, ABC, activity based costing. You have to go for activity based costing, we call it as ABC. You may think that this is not the job of logistics, this is not the job of supply chain. No, it is job of supply chain manager. Activity based costing, ABC, is quite common. How many tasks you are covering, including forward and reverse logistics, accordingly you have to put the price for it. So, price is based on the cost is based on activity. So, we call it as ABC analysis, ABC cost analysis, it is cost related one. ABC analysis we have studied in a different way, high value product, low volume, value and volume. Now, we are talking about ABC for logistical purposes, the activity based costing. If you are having more activity for logistic, your cost is higher, your price should be higher. So, then supply chain management is management of, now we are coming to the management of upstream and downstream relationship. Martin Christopher, I have seen him many times in the conferences. He is a renowned person. If you have time, just look at the book Martin Christopher. Martin is the first name. He has written so many books. One is improvement of the previous book. So, every book has got new ideas. Supply chain, if you look at the supply chain before 30 years, it was only forward supply chain. Before 20 years, reverse supply chain. If you look at the last 1 decade, supply chain with smart information, smart everywhere. That means we have to be smart enough to understand it. So, if you are using only one book, you will not gain any kind of knowledge. You have to be versatile in understanding things. So, if I am talking about ABC analysis, actually it is for the Chinese products coming to UK or UAE, we normally give to students what is activity based costing, because activity, you do not know what activity will happen outside your country. How will you make the costing? It is very difficult. So, what are the activities happening outside the country? You do not need to know. However, you have to ask the other person who is in the other end of the supply chain, what is the cost involved within your country. Accordingly, you will be going for the pricing. So, supply chain management is management of upstream and downstream relationship with suppliers and customers to deliver supreme customer value at less cost. Then only you can understand the cost. If you do the costing separately, to the less cost to the supply chain as a whole. So, this is written in 1998, that means book might have been worked in 1995, the work has been assembled and then he has put it for the book in 1998. Now, if you are looking at the latest version, still the definition is the same, he has used smart supply chain, but only that is the difference. Now, my question to you, if you are a supply chain manager as a MBA student, what focus do you need to have as a first activity? What is your first focus for which activity? You are a supply chain logistic manager. See, you are looking at only supply chain and logistics manager. What is your primary focus should be? So, by digitalizing the supply chain, cost can be reduced in the whole supply chain.
Cost quality will be good, cost will be less, and delivery will be the as per customer requirement.
Okay.
That barrier, supply chain network must be reduced by adding the digitalization.
So, that is perfect. It is a 3-dimensional what he is saying. You are talking about quality, he is talking about time, and other one is talking about the management of everything together. So, if you are having the 3-dimension triangle, you know it, the answer you have studied it somewhere. If you are having the triangle like this, one is time, in this case delivery time, one is quality, other one is cost. So, we cannot just leave the quality and go for cost, we cannot leave the cost and go for only timely delivery. So, that means it should be a comprehensive view of cost, time and quality. If you are a supply chain logistical manager, you have to make sure that you are looking at all 3 dimensions of the supply chain, the product quality, delivery quality, it can be the time management, and time management can be for the final last mile delivery, and cost is reduced in every particular supply chain node, not only for supplier tier 1, tier 2 should also be reducing the cost, logistic person should be reducing the cost in the activity. So, overall cost will be reduced, the price what customers are paying will be less accordingly. Now, let us go with the next one. Actually, it is a video you can see later. Let us go with the McDonald's. Now, we have some questions for this. McDonald's is having tier 2, as I said, tier 2 is away from the actual manufacturing. Whoever is the focal company, next is tier 1. Focal company can be processing company, focal company can be manufacturing company. Whoever is core means whatever is the main aspect of the company, closer to them is tier 1. If you look at this diagram, that is why I have given exactly without the name manufacturing here. Processing is happening, actually before processing we are having growers, that is farmers. Farmers are like paddy and other lentils, we are having the growers. Growers are sending to the processing just to remove the dust and husk of wheat and rice. Then it goes to the inbound transportation within certain level of locations. Then it goes to the distribution after packaging. Then it goes to the outbound transportation, and then it goes to the restaurant. This is taken from one of the papers. If you look at it, it's a recent paper, 2023. So, this is the structure given here. So, when you are having the structure like this, is a well dedicated structure, you are having the names Noida, Mumbai, Calcutta and Bangalore, all these things are given here. If you are a manager, probably you have to change the idea. If you look at this, this is for mainly students, there are 4 different things. Growers we cannot change, let me put it as tier 2, and we are not changing these 2. If you want to compress this, what can you do? Processing, inbound transportation, distribution center, I want to compress it, instead of 3 I want to make it into 2, sorry. make it into 2, what will you do? Sometimes it is possible, sometimes it is not possible, right. If I am asking you to compress processing, inbound, transportation and distribution center, it is not actually possible. Either I have to go for processing and distribution center in one place without having inbound transportation. But how is it possible? I need to have positive side of it. Yes, if I have everything in one roof, my cost will be reduced, that is positive. But negative side of it, I have to invest a huge amount of money for land, and I have to have everything in one place, meaning its temperature should be very much positive to me to have that item. Warehouse is not only about the place, warehouse, processing, distributions are also depending on where you are located. Okay. And if you are processing something in the temperature of minus 20 degrees, and if you are sending it by normal truck, what will happen? Everything will be defrosting. If it is a item which is needed to be very cold. And if you are processing, if you know many of the European countries, especially UK where I have been for many years, they are not manufacturing many products, only short food supply chain. They do not have anything to grow and give it to others outside the country. Short food supply chain meaning is they can be self sufficient on certain things, they cannot send it to others. But sometimes we are having more production, then they have to make the processing. That is why we are having the processing. This example is given as one of the case studies for tomorrow. When you are having the farmers growing items, if you can't consume locally, you have to process. Instead of sending to other countries or keeping in the refrigeration, it is not possible. The refrigeration is very costly affair. So, you can go for processing if you are having bigger supply, and if you do not have the logistics. That is what I asked this question. For example, if you do not have the logistical thing, if you do not have the distribution, imagine if you do not have all these things, processing is the best way to keep the item for a longer period of time. Directly we can not about the McDonald's, for any other supply chain, they can send it around the country, around the globe if they are processing. It is a canned tin food. Tin food is very famous in many countries where they cannot grow. For many years I have used only tin tomato, because tomato is very costly and it is not growing in all parts of the country, not in all seasons. Then we can go for processing. Even though it is McDonald's supply chain, we can have many lessons out of it. Now, let us do the another scenario based one. Okay, I do not have the processing. Okay, now I do not have processing at all. Directly I have farmers, I have this scenario, I have everything else. So, who will do the processing? Processing. So, that means you want this from here to restaurant, directly he wants to send it. Okay, that is one possibility 1. As a logistical manager, you can think of something else. We are going to introduce something different. We talked about 3PL, now I am going to talk about 4PL. 4PL, fourth party logistics. Fourth party logistics is higher version of third party logistics. Nowhere it said we can do the processing. Processing is not their job, but their job is they can make it happen through someone else. You are giving the job to fourth party logistics, they will be taking, there is only one charge. They will be taking the item from some A to the processing unit, you are not involved in it. So, as a farmer you are giving to fourth party logistics, they will be taking the item, they will take the responsibility of processing and they will bring it to McDonald's. It can be possible to any other company. So, fourth party logistics now they are playing bigger role than third party logistics. They are taking care of warehousing, they are taking care of distribution, they are taking care of storing and keeping for some time. If you do not have space, they will be keeping it. Okay. Like when you are moving the house, if your house is going to be, the key is going to be given to you only a couple of days later, you already vacated the current house, your items are with your mover, packer and mover, he will keep it for 2 days, you do not need to worry how it is going to be preserved, how it is going to be taken to your final destination, that is not your job. The same way fourth party logistic will do the things the quality item will be given to the end consumer. So, this is another method. So, actually we have to talk about collaboration and networking, that is our next session. So, let me introduce it for a couple of minutes before I I will take another 5 minutes, not more than that. Now, let us talk about networking and collaboration before we leave. So, let me give you a story, story based on what I have seen from the companies. Waitrose is a big company which is selling only bread, milk and small farmers fruits and vegetables, only that much. But it is a very big company, chain of stores available in UK, available in UAE, I do not know whether it is available in India, Waitrose. But they are getting more profit from local farmers. Another one is John Lewis. John Lewis is doing furnitures, fashion items, electronics, and they are selling others electronics as well. John Lewis has got its own brand and they are selling other companies' products. Two different set of business. So, one is food related, another one is luxury related. Both have to combine together to make some new business. They do not want to create a new business, they want to have existing business, but they want to cherish and flourish in both the ways. So, they have come up with the idea, why do not we have Waitrose within every John Lewis shop. Actually, initially it was very big task, because John Lewis employees are different, a different mindset. They are having different motto, different strategies for selling the items. And similarly, John Lewis, they are luxury, they are targeting the high value customers. Then they felt one thing was common, strategy of attracting the customers, high value customers, not high volume customers. That means, you do not need to attract many people, attract few people and make them loyal to you. So, that means loyalty, sustainability in the sense of business continuum rather than talking about the other things, not greenness. So, they have kept every John Lewis shop has got one Waitrose. After few years, employees were having some difficulty, but later on it has become all right. After 2-3 years, they felt, why do not we go as a green company. So, the green means, as I said initially, green is not happening somewhere else, it is not others' responsibility, it is our responsibility. So, they said, okay, let me take a bag which will be water soluble, you can put it on the ground, it will be immersed and it will be compost on its own. It is a compost on its own by pouring some water. So, the bag is sorted, we are all green. Then what next? Felt, okay, why do not we take outside the country? They have taken to all other countries outside UK. You can see, is Waitrose here? No. In UAE there are many Waitrose, UK always, because they are the pioneering company, they are having Waitrose. In other countries as well, I guess it is there in other European countries. So, they have expanded the horizon. So, wings are now gone to the different levels. So, what is collaboration? That is called collaboration. Collaboration not only for bringing your image to the society, collaboration, some collaborators they will be showing only the head figure. You know what is head figure? Head figure means showing only the face of the leader and logo of the company to show this is a higher high image and higher valuable company. That is one way of doing it. Other way of doing supply chain collaboration is collaborate with your partners. That means, if you are collaborating for the business, collaborate with your partners as well. All the supply chain partners of one company will become supply chain partner of the other company. The advantage is the fight will be reduced. Supply chain normally they are fighting among themselves. So, let me start with a simple example. You are buying the product Colgate toothpaste. Who is the manufacturer? Unilever, right? If you are buying Colgate from the local store, maybe 100 rupees, let me take it as example. If you are buying from the big mall, rupees 80. Why? Is it because demand is less? Bulk purchase. So, demand is higher. Okay, that is, as a layman anybody can give this answer. There is another answer. What is it? It's a bulk purchase, it's correct. It's very true, very true. I don't say no. Centralized purchase. What about this word? Power based on the supply. Demand is increasing, then supply is increasing. The investment for the company is going to be the same for every machinery, but when you are asking prices higher, people will not be buying. Let me give it as a very simple. This 100 rupees has become 80 rupees because he is buying 5 million item. Demand is higher, but investment from the company is the same. He is buying only maybe 1 million. Who is powerful here? He is powerful. So, now demand is coming from the downstream. They are becoming powerful in having the bargain. So, they are having the bargain power. Supply chain is the same supplier. So, that means this is another supply chain, different logistical companies. Here logistical companies are different. This supply chain and this supply chain are competing. Not the supply chain players are competing from the top level, only the supply chain is competing. If you are interested, go to the 2010 paper. I talked in detail how the supply chain is competing with each other. Actual supply chain is competing, no competitors, retailers are competing in this case. Here this person and this person, both of them are not competing. They are not competing, but they are making the competition happen in the supply chain because of the demand.
When I was younger, my parents used to say the Walmart or the big bazaar things, they usually buy from the vendors a different kind of product, so that they are giving it much discount. That is not the truth. The thing is that they create an artificial requirement to buyers. Suppose we are going to any mall or any market, though you don't have any requirement of that kind of volume, but by looking at the discount only, we buy a bigger volume. So that is a one kind of market strategy, how to sell your product by just because there is a difference of 20 rupees in 180. So there is a big chunk of discount percent which is shown to the customer. So that is one kind of marketing strategy, how to sell out your product also.
Yes, if I am writing for marketing paper, certainly I will be using it. If I am the supply chain logistical expert, I will be using this concept. Both are right in a way, but in reality when you are selling in multiple millions the product, supply chain is not normally they are fighting with each other. Definitely it is to create some demand purposely. And if you are a convenient store customer, you do not mind buying it because it is close to you. So, that is another reason for in the marketing sense, any customer will buy the convenient product for higher price. However, the customer will not buy the same product in a very big supermarket for that price. So, that means purposely supply chain is dividing the market. So, supply chain is competing. That is actually we can debate it in a different level, is marketing and finance as well as supply chain. Yes, you are right sir, I agree. Thank you. Yeah.
Also the supply chain is the supply chain managerial logistics is to provide the right material, right time and right price.
Yeah.
At a customer requirement delivery period.
Yes, customer is making the difference. Yes, yeah. Actually nowadays the quality is assured. What he started with, in Walmart they are having Walmart brand, and then they are not having Colgate as different variety. They have different variety, but not only for Walmart. Colgate is available in different varieties in different shops, but Walmart is having their own brand. But I would say they are creating the supply chain demand by having their own brand competing with bigger brands in the same shop. That is really, it is a freedom for everyone. You can choose. Customers are becoming masters now, and they are dividing, companies are dividing the segments, market segment into different things, but customers, they know what they want. Accordingly, the demand is changing. Okay, we will not talk about much about the marketing, and I am teaching marketing as well in other courses. We will talk about only supply chain, okay, and price, how we are having the collaboration, how logistical cost is reduced for two different supply chain competition. That is what we are going to see. Okay, thank you.